Okay. This lighting is terrible. There's nothing I can do about it. I hate the lighting. I'm going to do I feel like this looks like weird. Or, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do like a little video on my Patreon to let people know. Hold on, I'll change the lighting. I'm here. It may not seem like I'm here. Okay. Nobody's here anyway, so I think I'm good. Nobody's in here anyway. Oh gosh. This is like, why is it so bright? Oh, there we go. Normal lighting. Sort of. This is normal lighting with no ring light. I think it looks better. I don't know. Does that look better without the ring light, Susan? Hi, Susie. Hi, Susan. I called you Susie. I'm getting my green tea. Mm-hmm. Does it look better without the light, the ring light? I think it looks more like natural. And just the light coming in. I'm going to do a little video. Yeah, natural, right? That's what I think. All right, let me tell the Instagram people. Okay. I'm done with doing my nails myself. I tried and they just keep coming off. Did you ever watch Moonlight? Yeah. And she had that crazy light on her. It was terrible. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. I'm over on Patreon now. This filter is like really funny. You love that lighting? I'm talking to people on YouTube. Did I say Patreon? I'm live on YouTube, not Patreon. Come see me right now doing readings. Hi, everybody. I'm over on Patreon now. This filter is like really funny. You love that lighting? I'm talking to people on YouTube. Did I say Patreon? I'm live on YouTube. I said Patreon. Okay. Why is it? Hi, everybody. I'm over on I used real nail polish. Really you love that lighting? And why is it just falling off of my fingers? I used to use real nail polish. I used to do my nails at home all the time. And they didn't just fall. It didn't just fall off. Like, what the hell? Like, this is the nails I did. And then look at that. Why is it falling off? I just did this yesterday. I mean, before I went to nail salons, I would do my nails at home. It didn't fall off like this. What is up? Why would it just peel off? It makes no sense. What am I doing wrong? It's weird. Maybe the base coat is crap. Maybe I didn't used to do a base coat. I don't know. It's super irritating. This is my new green tea. Like, I decide to, like, not go get my nails done and do them at home. I'm obsessed with my nails. And it just peels off. I used to do my nails myself all the time and it never peeled off. I think I'm gonna try it with no base coat and just see what happens. I actually think this base coat says, like, peel off base coat. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it makes the polish peel off. I don't know. I'm not gonna try. Anyway, I'm here to do readings, believe it or not, and not talk nails. How are you doing? How is it? Is it late there? Are you barely staying awake in Michigan? How's it? It's 9:30. Are you falling asleep? Bedtime? Do you go to bed at 9:30? I'm impressed that you go to bed at a decent time. You actually go to bed at 9:30. Hmm. On weekdays, I'm in bed pretty early. Okay. Yeah, 9:30 is early for any day, especially a weekend. How's it been going over there in Michigan? I love my bed though, you do? Kingly. Hello. Um, well, here's the thing. That's good for you. I have a hard time sleeping, period. Beautiful in Michigan spring. Okay. Awesome. It's been really pretty here too in LA. Yeah, it has finally. So I just recorded today another episode. Want to tell everybody know that I'm doing readings. I'll be on here for an hour. How it works is you get on my list, and I'll tell you every 15 minutes. I'll remind you to get on my list and tell you when my list will be closed, which is usually 15 minutes before the hour's up. So pretty much I let people get on the list for 45 minutes. You can donate in the links in the description. Um, and Julian's episode was great. Oh, thank you. Hi, Lolita. Hi. Yeah, she had two good stories, right? So I had somebody I recorded today for this is for my podcast, The House Medium, for those of you who are not familiar with my podcast. And she had some spirits, paranormal stories. And so that's really fun. And I'm excited about the alien communication class that I'm doing. That's going to be next week. I think next Sunday. And we're going to practice together live, meaning not just a video recorded class, but we're going to do a live class together where we're going to understand how those type of beings work. It's really just to kind of understand how those beings work. It's to understand, the difference between like a spirit and how they communicate and higher beings and how they communicate. I got you, Lolita. I gotcha. And so you're first on my list. And so I'm excited about it. You guys said you wanted it. I created it. So yeah, so I better see the people who said they wanted to come come to that class. And also for my Patreon people, I posted I got you, Susan. You go by Susan, right? I'm not like imagining it. You don't go by Susie. I've never, or do people call you Susie? Um, I gotta turn off my phone because it sounds really loud. And I for the Patreon people, there's a discount on it. I really like, and I have to do a video about this. Yes, Susan, but I have some friends that call me Susie. Both are good. Okay. Um, I really like that in my Patreon that people I put out a video. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. I feel like I got a lot of sleep. Is it the green tea? I don't know. I like that in my Patreon, people I put out a video telling people to practice reading with each other, and people have been doing it. So that's been really exciting to see that I wanted the Patreon to be a place where you can meet like-minded people who you can practice reading with, who you can talk to these things about. So I'm going to probably next week post another video to follow up and make sure everyone's being able to meet each other, and that's what I really was hoping for in that in the Patreon. Okay, Lolita, what can I do for you? So this is the first 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, we have a half hour to get on my list. Obviously, we have a very small, tiny little group, which is fine. Also, I wanted to let you all of you know who care and is paying attention. I have been talking about writing a book, and I have been writing a book. This is a more personal book about my story and the things I've experienced. And I had a dream about it last night. A very clear message, like literally someone came to me in the dream and told me, this is what you need to do to write this book. So I am continuing that journey. Okay, intuitive, trying to decide which of the two high schools will be better overall for my daughter going the ninth grade for this upcoming fall. Oh, Lolita. Great, keep going. Thank you. We are in the same boat, girl. Isn't it feeling so, isn't it? It's hard. I know. Not deciding on the high school because I have that settled, but I know my baby too. Can we just like fit in their backpacks and go with them? It's hard. Okay. Why don't you give me what, don't say the name of the high school because I do not want you to name the high schools on here. Do not name the high school, but why don't you just say high school A, high school B? Let's do that, okay? And I'll do my best. Or I know, just do the initial, like the letter, not initial, like A or T or F or E, something like that, so that you know which one I'm seeing. R and S. Okay, here we go. Never post these things. I'm always careful about kids. All right, hold on. Let me look at R. Oh, and by the way, I should say this. If you ever want to book a private reading, I'll remote view which high school, the teachers. I do this. I do this. I can do this for you. Okay. You know, Mama does this I I will do this. Okay, here we go. I know it's on YouTube and it's not a secret, but I've talked about this before. Okay, let me look at R first. Hold on. So when I see R, it looks very like, I want to say pristine, and everyone looks like when I see her going there, she feels it looks very vast, meaning like it looks, I want to say kind of a little bit overwhelming, but the good thing about it, it's very organized, it's very efficient. They have everything down, their system down. It doesn't feel very nurturing, if that makes sense. Like it feels like academically they're really on point. Let's put it that way. Academically, they're very on point. I guess my concern is that she looks a little bit overwhelmed, almost like it's not but so personalized. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. But far as like how safe it feels and how efficient they are about all these things, they're very efficient. It's a very efficient environment for her. You won't feel like somebody dropped the ball. You'll feel like, okay, they communicate, they tell you what's going on. Okay, you understand. Okay, let me look at S. Okay, S all of a sudden shrinked in size. It looked more green. I know that sounds strange, but the campus looked more warm and friendly. And I kind of felt like, honestly, I kind of felt like I saw people like greeting her and kind of going, oh, that kind of vibe, like welcome. And I don't know, she definitely felt more like a warmness there. I think the decision you have is it about, the academics, and that's the focus, and having like that focus being on, yes, they offer more advanced classes and all this kind of stuff, or do you want a school that offers really good courses, but they're just a little bit smaller, a little bit more warm? So I kind of even felt like this S had more emphasis on art and the other was more emphasis on academics or creativity, I guess I should say. Does that make any sense to you? Green tea, everyone. I did have coffee today. For the first time in a while, I drank a whole cup of coffee. Yes. And R is quite academic, and my son goes there too. She wants to go there. So, is that what she's into? Is she into the academics of things? The only thing that I saw is, I don't know, it just didn't look as welcoming. So I feel like she'll like it because kind of feels like going to college or something. But I definitely feel like at the other school she would have more of a warm experience program available, but I think it has a better vibe. It does. It does have a better vibe. I feel like we can talk about this in the reading, but I definitely feel like she has to kind of really try to picture herself. I don't feel like she's gonna like it as much. I just feel like she thinks it's more prestigious or something. I don't know. I don't see her liking it as much. She'll theater, track, basketball, cheer. Yeah, so that's why I feel it's S. I feel like at S, she's gonna be able to do all of those things and thrive. And I did see her people gravitating towards her, and I feel like the other one, they they kind of won't care about that, if that makes sense. So, yeah, we can get further into it though. So I hope that helped. Ay, ay, ay. It's tough. Makes complete sense. Okay, awesome. I literally remote view the future. And yes, everyone, I can remote view people, and I do. Like if somebody wants to go on an interview, or you want me to remote view the teachers, I will do that. And we don't have to tell anybody. Just I'm just posting it online. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, Susan, what's your deal? I'm going down my list, checking it twice. So I'm doing readings on here. As people know, I'm mediumship with my dad, please. Okay. Um I read for an hour. We're going in, ending my first 15-minute warning. I'll remind everybody at the top of the half hour that you have 15 more minutes to get on my list. Have we talked to your dad before? We talked, yes. Okay. Okay, so if I've talked to someone before, then when I jump in for the next time, then we just go ahead and let dad talk about whatever he wants to talk about. Okay? And I want to remind everybody, hi, Karina, that I'll be posting a class on my Patreon for my Patreon people, a second class on health, because I've been really coming out of the closet that I am an intuitive. I mean, I guess the official term is a medical intuitive, and I can see those things, but obviously I refer you to go see your doctors, and I'm not diagnosing, but I do help people. That Susan, before I get started with your dad, with our last session, did that help? Has it been helping? I hope. Hi, Buffy. Hi, Karina. Um, and I'm trying to do in this class on Patreon that I'm going to post, getting more into other things about and how to. Yes, so much Denise Austin and I are hanging out in the morning. Oh, I love it. After we talked, I like put her on too. And I was like, I missed you, Denise. Awesome. Okay. Let's hear what your dad has to say. I know she's the cutest, and here's the thing that people don't know. If I'm going to pick someone to work out with, I want them to have studied the anatomy. I used to go, and she's in Oregon, so she moved, but I used to go to a healer, and she's a yoga instructor, but like a real yoga instructor, like not the type that's like, make it burn, see how long you could be in these positions without falling or whatever. She was the real deal. And she studied in Thailand. She's Thai. And she, what was really cool about her is that, she also studied the body. And so I'm doing readings on donations. So I have the information listed above, and I'm about to do a medium reading for Susan. And the donation is above. It's $20 for intuitive or medium reading. They're just little mini readings. Yeah, so the reason why I liked her is because she also studied the body, and the anatomy of the body. And so she knew how the body worked. You know what I mean? And that's important. Okay, Susan, let's do your reading. So the first thing I hear from him is kind of advising me on stuff. He's like, "Well, you got to take care of yourself," and he's calling you his little girl. Um, he says he doesn't really have a lot that he can contribute to what's going on in your life. He's like kind of reminding you that, you know, there's only so much I understand and can do, but he wants you to know that he hears you when you're talking to him and you're going over things in your life. He is talking about something coming up in April, saying like April's going to be pretty significant. Something like you're hoping will work for you in April, and he says this will actually go into effect. Is there something you're doing in April? He also says before. Hi Angie. Hi girl. No idea about April. Yeah, he says something that you've been trying to get off the ground is going to start to move in April. Um, he does say that to remember that you can't have everything at once. Something about everything at once. Also, this just kind of popped in pretty strong. He says that this time next year, you're going to move. This time next year. Are you moving? Are you thinking of moving? He also says that he under I want to own a home, but it feels like a distant dream. Yeah, but he's talking about moving. And I'm going to be really honest, he's talking about moving back here to California. He's saying that the tides are going to shift. He doesn't know all the details. Remember, the dead, they don't know everything. They don't know all the things. They don't know the big picture of why you're learning lessons and all that kind of stuff. But he's saying the winds are going to shift and things are going to change, and that you would move back here by next year. He also says that something about like singing a song, and that he hears you when you're singing a song, and that you're humming a song. Or, oh no, sorry, not that he hears you, that he actually puts this song into your head, and he tries to get your attention in this kind of way. um And yes, he says that you would move back here because tides are going to change, the winds are going to change, that it's going to allow you or make room for you to be able to move here. He says you need to have a positive outlook. Um, and he says that, he's kind of flooding all these things about I'm remembering about your connection to him, and I know you're trying to build it. And he says, I don't know all the things, but I do the best I can to help you the best I can. Yeah. And he says, this is the way he can help in practical things. That is how he helps practical life. He says, I really don't have spiritual advice, because he's kind of learning all of that stuff now. Like, it wasn't something he even thought of before he died, when he was in this world. So, yeah, he says thank you for talking to him. But he says tides are going to change and you'll be able to move back to California. That's all he can tell me, Susan. Like, remember, they don't know all the things. You remember, they only know glimpses because it's hard to explain to people, but they're just people who died and they don't have access to all the things and stuff like that. That's something more I would be able to see in an intuitive reading. Um, like it's just he's just kind of leaving it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's interesting. Was I muted? Okay, I'm muting you because I don't want you to hear. I don't want to, if I have to blow my nose, I don't want to blow it in your ears. So I was making sure. When I first started doing live, I didn't know how to mute my mic. Oh, so anyway, yeah, it is interesting. Okay, so I have 15 more minutes to get on my list if you would like a reading, a little quick reading. Um, if you have any kind of paranormal questions or spiritual questions, thank you. That was great. Yeah, I think that was kind of surprise. I I'm not surprised. I kind of suspected this may be coming. So if you have any like other type of questions, spiritual stuff about spirituality, paranormal, you can throw them my way. Um, have 15 minutes to jump on my jump on and get on the list to get a reading. So the thing I've noticed that's been going on in my readings on the day to day, when I do my one-on-one readings. Um, okay, I'll make another appointment. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too surprised, but I'm glad your dad. Can you talk to dead animals? Yes. Yes, I do this all the time. The thing about animals is it's very different. Um they I'm looking at my phone. Good luck, Susan. Thanks again. You're welcome. Their animals are more blunt because animals don't really have an issue with death. So do you think that if yes, I don't think I've done many, 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 many readings like this. I've been reading for professionally for 25 years and I don't solve crimes because it's hard to explain. Um it's really dangerous to get into that because that could really mess things up to claim, oh, this is the person. You can't do that. It's irresponsible ethically. But when people pass of those things that you're talking about, Karina, they will verify, let's put it that way, or say no or yes, this person you suspect no, or this is this person you suspect yes. But I don't do anything like this is the person because first of all, I won't do any readings like that unless the people have been dealt with the police and things like that. Why are you saying yes and laughing? I don't really understand why you're laughing. Um, so um, so if somebody unalive somebody, they do know, but I'm really ethical about it. One of the very first readings I ever did in my life was for a friend's mother who daughter had that happen. So yes. And that one was verified. I don't want to get into that on YouTube. Um, but it's, all been verified. To answer the other question, Buffy, yes, I talk to animals all the time. I talk to animals who pass. I think Angie might be talking about that. I think because I don't know why this is always delayed on here, but I think the chat's delayed. Um, Hi Delia. And the thing about animals is they're very blunt. They they don't have emotions about it because they know they have peace with death. They understand the cycle of life and death. So when animals talk to people, sometimes people are very surprised that they're not emotional, and they see it as like we're the ones that have a hard time with being on earth, and we're the ones that have a hard time with death. And so yes, I do animals all the time. I just find it very interesting because they talk more matter of fact. They're less draining. It's not that people drain me, they're just less work. I guess that's the word I want to say. They're just easy to talk to because they don't have emotional baggage that they have to like deal with and talk about, oh, this is what I should have done with my life and I didn't do this. They're just like, they don't have any of that. How's my book? You saw me talking about it. You were in here when I was talking about it. I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it and I have some ideas. Um, yes, I'm working on my book. I had a dream about it. In my dream, this person told me what I needed to do to write this book. And I woke up very clear. And then I actually Googled what they told me and said, is this true what they told me in my dream? And it was. They were like, this is what you need to do if you want to push this book out. This is the smarter way to go. And I was like, in the dream, I was like, really? I can do that? And they're like, yeah, you can do that. So when I woke up, I Googled it and they were right. And I was like, okay, that kind of released me to just get going, to stop to get going. Oh, I love those kinds of dreams. Yeah. Um, I've heard those people. I can hear those people all the time, and they tell me all the time without a dream because I can talk to them to that realm, but they knew I was ignoring it. So I guess they were like, we're going to also infiltrate your dreams, which is why I have a hard time sleeping most of the time. Hello, Eric. I thought you were going to send in your stories. Where are the stories that people are need to be sending in to my podcast? I just recorded today. I really like this. This one will be good. I'm kind of liking that I'm getting back people who are sending in paranormal stories. Now, let me ask everyone a question. This is something that kind of came to me. Let me ask you guys this. When I first started doing this podcast, I was just doing audio and I wasn't doing video. And I really feel like people were sending in their stories. And ever since I've been adding video, it slowed down. And then once I said, I've been having people lately with just audio, people are now just choosing audio. I think most people don't want to go on video. So I think I'm just going to go back to audio only. I was laughing when you blew your nose. I think that comments are delayed. Okay. I haven't come across the alien dream from my dream journals yet. Do you need the dream journal to remember what happened? Do you? I don't believe it. I think not. You don't. Exactly. That's interesting. I only listen on my commute, so I don't tune in with the YouTube. Yeah, no one's really, I wouldn't say no one, but I would say very little people are looking at YouTube. And to do the video, I feel more comfortable just doing audio. I feel more like less conscious. I don't, I feel myself enough. I feel this is my theory, then we're getting onto a sidetrack. When you see people like on TikTok and stuff and they're like doing a podcast, here's a little secret. I don't know if you guys know, but there's plenty of places you can rent here in LA that has a podcast set up and you record a podcast, but it's really just people. Some people are actually doing a full podcast and some people are just doing clips to make it look like a full podcast and they just put it out on TikTok. And those people are just wanting to like get views on TikTok and stuff. I don't feel anybody sees a clip of a podcast and then go and subscribe to a podcast. Anybody who finds my podcast is really because they found the podcast. That is what I have learned. They're like, "Oh, I was looking for a new podcast and I found you guys." I could go all day long telling you little tricks and little tricks that people do here in LA that people don't realize is going on, influencers and stuff. But when you see people sitting together and they're recording, it's usually if they are a podcast and they have production money, because when you have a big podcast, you get on a big channel and they'll pay for your recording sessions in a studio. But when you're just like little me, a little podcast doing my own thing, and then I record myself and I have to do everything myself and I'm doing it like not in person. I feel like I rather just people find this podcast, and I think I'm just going back to audio because I really feel like people are really nervous to do video and they're really putting themselves out there. My friend A says I had an alien dream, so I trust her that I did, but I've been writing my dreams in journal since 2014. She said I shared it pre-COVID, so that's 6 years of worth. Well, if you don't remember and someone's telling you, then yes, you do have to remember. Okay, well, I'm about to close. I guess we're just chatting tonight, not doing so much reading tonight, which is fine because I'm about to close this in about 5 minutes. Chance to get on a reading list. Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but whenever you see those little clips on TikTok, it's people who rent a space. I actually saw a really cool space that it was like, if I ever want to do in-person episode, like a special guest or something, then I probably would, you know, rent that space. But because I have I'm so excited to meet with you. My mind is blown, but in a nice way. Oh, good. Okay. You're really? Well, I'm not. My mind's not blown about that. I knew that was happening. So yeah, so that's a little thing. What I like about my podcast is that it's real people, real stories, paranormal stories, people who have had paranormal stories that they've kept and not shared with anybody for years. Some people didn't even tell their own family members. And they come on my podcast and they share their story. And then other people hear it and people go, "Oh my gosh, it's not just me. I've had these weird things happen to me too. And I thought I was imagining it, but I heard somebody else tell a story. So I feel more comfortable." And that is the point of doing the podcast, everyone. That is why I wanted to do this podcast. So I don't want to scare people off with the video. I've noticed that ever since I started doing video, people weren't as pushing their stories in. So I think I'm going to go back to audio, and that will be that. Yes, I never thought California and me would be back together. I figured she broke up with me forever. Aw, it was just a separation trial. It wasn't a full breakup. It was a separation. No, babe, we want you back. We want you back. What are you talking about? Oh, yes, we want you back. Yes, Susan, we want you back. Come back to California. Oh, that's so funny. Thanks, Angie. Exactly. How are you healing, Angie? Angie has had quite a doozy of a situation. And she's gonna I'm gonna put her on blast and say she's gonna mentor with me on pigging back off the situation. Right, Angie? We're gonna work on Rip Gallbladder, on her healing vibes, gifts. Great, you'll love it, Angie. Look at she's being she's being called out. Yes, ma'am. You've been on my tail lately. Oh no. Yeah, she's had quite a how are you feeling? I have been having so much fun doing these mentorships. They are my favorite new thing I do with everyone. It's really the direction I don't want to say it's a goal, but it's been the way I've foreseen me evolving to just get more people on anybody I can help to be on this planet to use their site or expand who they are in any kind of way. I do have other dream related stories I will sit down to write and share soon. Awesome. One, two that involves an angel. Ooh, today better, but the after our call, the pain seemed to have permission to visit me. Oh, are you getting it under control? Yeah, so Angie like had she did have like a session with me and then she's like, I think I'm going to have to reschedule because I'm going to ER. I'm like, yeah, you have to reschedule and get your butt to ER. The nurse did not want to get healed. The NICU nurse, I might add, which is not an easy profession. Yeah. And but anyway, yes, yes, yes. It is my new favorite thing is mentoring people. It has been my favorite thing that I've been doing. I've been watching people really grow. Sometimes people have some setbacks. That's pretty normal. They kind of step back. All hail the nurse of planet Earth. Exactly. All hail the nurse of planet Earth. It is a very important and beautiful profession and underrated for sure. And there's me laughing my ass off, Adela's trouble child. I have a few trouble children. Don't worry. Especially palliative. Palliative? What does that mean? Oh, by the way, speaking of nurses, I saw this woman. I think it was a woman. I think I saw her in the car was a woman. She had on her license. What does that mean? You can't just say palliative care. If I don't know the word, smarty pants, to be a nurse to those who are at the end of life. Um, oh, yeah. That's I don't feel like any nurse is more special than others, to be honest. I just don't believe that. NICU nurses is very hard. I've experienced it firsthand. There are little babies and there's mothers that are scared and upset and it's terrifying and they stand there. They're standing there next to the baby and they don't leave. Like I've experienced it and then I have somebody else I know is a NICU nurse. They have to stand by the baby and watch the baby when they're in that level of care. So I feel like all nurses are very important, in my opinion, equally important. Um, but yeah, so they all deserve the same respect, I believe. They all have their hardships. Exactly. If it's not just the patient we give care to, it's the family. Yeah, absolutely. Family and friends are there. Absolutely. Let me tell you, it's very terrifying to I don't think people really understand what women go through when they have children, when they give birth. And it's not like in the movies where people just give birth and everything's fine. There's all kinds of things that can happen. And so for the women who have a child that's whisked away into intensive care unit, that's what NICU is. It's intensive care unit for a baby. And when there's an intensive care unit for a baby, you are got a lot of women hysterical and scared and all this. So all of it is very important. But anyway, on a lighter note, I saw this woman had on her plates, she said, "Be nice to me. I may be your nurse one day." That was on her license, around her license plate. It's like, um, I don't know if I want you to be my nurse one day with that attitude. You're scaring me. I I didn't know how I felt about it. I was like, "Okay." I don't know, guys. It was a little interesting, but anyway, on a lighter note, that's what I saw. I was like, "Okay, well, yes, ma'am," "Okay. Don't wanna mess with that nurse." Anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. My new obsession show has been The Pit. Has anyone seen The Pit? It's about ER. No comment. Angie, you're not, but see, you can't say that because you're a NICU nurse. I don't, what is a baby doing to you? You know what I mean? Not yet. Oh my God, episode one. Oh, I've watched them all. I watched them all. I got behind, but I've been a CNA. That's true. I was behind and then I binged watched it and then I was like, "No, I'm caught up now." I love it. If you were to ask me, and I'm going to put this in my book, what other profession would I go into if I didn't do this? And I would never go into this profession because I have no any inkling or any desire to do that much schooling, but it would be in the medical profession. I am fascinated like the things they're doing and they're showing it definitely I think it's realistic. What do you think, Angie? You're the nurse out here. Do you feel like it's realistic to ER? Because you worked ER before, right? Any other nurses here who worked ER or any of the nurses in general? It's more realistic than people want to accept. Hospitals focus on numbers and anything that can bring money in. Yes, it's true. You've got the right vibe for nursing. No, I wouldn't have been a nurse. I would wanted to have been a doctor or just studying things and not been at all that, like, but research. CNA floated to ER scribbing. I've seen every department. Okay. I know this is the thing, but you do have to realize that the pit is supposed to take place in Pittsburgh, right? It's a pretty rough ER. The only unrealistic thing I'm going to say, they don't remember people's names. They keep like showing them calling the patients by names. Come on. No, that's the only unrealistic thing. They're not calling patients by name. Let's be real. Like, that's the only thing I was like, is not real. They're not like they show them going like they remember all the patients that are sitting in there. Hey, hey, so and so. Hey, so sometimes the ones that want the Daisy Awards. Okay, well, I've never seen it, and I've been to have had a lot of experience, not just me, but other family members. Maybe I've just never seen it. It's hard when you have so much to remember. I know I was like, how would they remember people's names? Anyway, if you haven't watched The Pit, they haven't uh they haven't paid me for this, but you obviously I don't have a sponsorship, but it's a great show and I feel like it's the most realistic. Let me tell you something. I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I have one other thing to leave you with. Did you see the scene when the woman's giving baby a birth? They showed it realistically. And I don't care what people say. That is we're aliens, because I had emergency C-section, so I didn't see myself give birth unless they have been there for weeks and you're the one they always assign you to. Yeah, they're talking about like in the ER. They're like, "Hey, so and so. Hey, so and so." I mean, who's in the ER for weeks? At least not the ERs I've not here in the area I've been at. They'll admit you. But in the ER, they're like they know everyone's name. They show all the doctors knowing everyone's name. But anyway, they they showed her giving birth, and it was they did it realistically. Let's just say that. I don't know how women just keep doing it. I don't know. I don't, I don't know what's wrong with women. It's crazy. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to share with everyone, I have someone I know really well. They're an amazing person. They have a new drink. I'm going to show you too. I am not a sponsor. They're not sponsoring me in any kind of way, but it's called Love, and it's a new electrolytes drink. It's just the person I know who's created this company is one of the best people I've known is, and I'm excited for her. Thank you. We forget the pain, and I don't remember screaming. I didn't forget anything. I didn't forget I can go down right now and tell you every detail through my pregnancy to the birth. I didn't forget anything. Mm-mm. Nope. I don't forget pain. I can tell you everything that happened. So I don't understand when women say this. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I can remember what I said, laughing my ass off, but not. I can remember every single thing that happened. There we go. So that's what I'd like to say. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I'll see you some in some private readings. Tell my husband, don't touch me. Love, wellness, daily love. No, it's a drink. It's an energy drink. It's not an energy drink. It's a electrolytes drink, and it just launched. It's called Love. Be Love. It's brand new. She sent me some. I'm going to post about it. I've worked with her, and I don't feel this way about anything or anybody, but she's one of the best people I know, and I know she's going to do amazing things for people in this world. She's got the biggest heart. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you some in some private sessions, some mentorships, and on my Patreon, on my podcast when you send in your stories. I'll see you all there. I'll see you in my class that I'm doing next week. Some of you signed up for my alien communication class. Hope to hear an update, Susan. Yes. Well, exactly. So I'll see you all soon. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice. See you soon. Have a great weekend, everyone.